excuse me, so limit int is my thing. Yeah, it's got a problem with limit int. And this should be clamp int. I think that should work. Yeah. Clamp is monkeys. There's not a wrap, is there? Would you expect? Would I be expected to use that stupid thing? Huh. Logarithms or something? Not logs. Oh, I'm so terrible at maths, I just forget. And I never study. So, what am I thinking here? That's what occurs here. This is what occurs here. I have to be able to set owner, and I have to be able to set layer. Okay. I think that is coming out of here. A pair of things can happen. Sorry, I'm just sitting in silence and pondering here, and it's no good. It's not really constructive. A pair of things can happen. One is a form can have its display set configured, decided. Another is that it can have its layer set within its own display set. Both things involve inserting the graphic associated with the form into the display set's layer list array and removing it from its previous position. The reason I'm doing, and that this inserts the graphic if it exists, and there's a set associated with this, lots of lisps. There's a set associated with this form. The graphic gets added to the appropriate layer, limited to within 0 and max layers -1. Now, its children also need to have their set to be the new display set. How clumsy is that? Oh man, I'm really sort of baffling myself here, but if children, just for safety, for, oh man, C form equals HN children. C set equals set. There's a problem with this. If children for C form equals each in children, I should just hover. Okay. Now, do I think that's all that needs to do? Excuse me. This is... Now, the reason I'm hesitating so much is that this is very like what's going to happen when a layer is set. Or when an owner is set. But in this case, because the set value itself has to be passed down through the children, the layer number is not being changed just because the set number is being changed. I don't need to recalculate the layers of each form. I just need to move them to the correct set. Man. Okay, let's see. Layer. Int. Return layer. Setter. New layer. Int. End. Now, I can just say layer equals new layer. If parent and ultimate layer equals layer. If parent ultimate layer plus equals parent ultimate layer. Does that make sense? And then I have to say if set and owner so it's possible that a form could be in a set without an owner, or that a form could have an owner in part of an X form tree that's not within a set. So if it is in a set and it has an owner, then if owner layer node owner layer node remove. Let me look out my window. There's nothing interesting happening out there. I'm expecting a delivery. I'm really just churning through this. I'm not sure if it's going to work. We'll see. Owner layer node equals null. now owner layer node equals set layer clamp int alternate layer comma 0 comma max layers minus 1. I think I'm gonna change this a little bit. Well, not change it. I'll say max layers and top layer equals max layers minus 1. Top layer. Do I want that? Or do I just want to store top layer? Bugger it. Hang it all. That's what I'll do. Come back here. Wonder what the heck I was doing. Where on earth was I? Here. Top layer. And here, top layer. Add last. Owner. If children. Okay. Each children equals I can just say C layer. Yeah, that'll update it. I should just skip all this, mind you, if it's no different to what it was. In fact, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll say local current layer int equals ultimate layer. And then here if I say if hang on a second. It just makes sense what I'm doing. Current layer equals ultimate layer. Layer equals new layer. So it's the same, that's fine. Ultimate layer equals layer. Yeah. If parent ultimate layer plus equals parent ultimate layer, and if current layer is greater or less than ultimate layer. Oh no, or just say if it equals it, return. Effectively meaning no change has taken place. So if you set it to be what it already is, I mean, this is a roundabout way of doing it. I could just say if layer equals new L return. I'm kind of trying to catch two things at once here, and it doesn't make sense. Like I'm trying to catch a change to a parent layer, parent's ultimate layer as well, and like it's pointless. Those two things will not change simultaneously. Although actually, yeah, it will. That's why it catches this. Because the current thing's layer hasn't. Because for each of the children, their actual layer hasn't changed, but their ultimate layer, C layer, that is buggin'. I see why. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Ultimate layer equals layer. If they've got a parent, and in this case, it does have a parent, and its parent's ultimate layer has changed because it's got a new, different layer. Yeah, I need to do this bit. This stops it performing the rearranging of sets and or owners within sets if the ultimate layer is found to have remained the same. Right, okay. So, according to my figuring, that will set a layer, and this will set a set without changing a layer. And this is just if set and owner as well. Because it only affects the owner part. Okay. Let me see how I'm doing. Right. So, excuse me. So just to think this through, if I had created a form that had no graphic, but it was part of a display set, like I set its parent to something within a display set. Like if I say parent set, if it already has a parent, remove its family node, set the parent to be null, set the set to be null. So it has no owner, even if it already had a set that comes in, sets it to be null. This is null. Won't have had an owner because I'm imagining this bare form. So it set equal new set if owner and set do this if children do this. So it basically will not do either of those things, but it'll just set its set to be null. If new parent is null, then return, but otherwise, if new parent has children, okay. This needs to be outside. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, that, right, yeah. No, I guess I see. It's just checking. Just checking to see parent has a child list. I am such a fool. No, I'm not. No, that's all okay. So I can actually say h1 equals null return. Otherwise, you will be getting a new parent. It will be new p. Family node is set to that. If the parent has a set, the self set is set to be the parent set. And in self set, it checks to see if it has a parent set. It gives it the set. If it has an owner and there's still a set, then do this, but otherwise go to children, set their set to be set. What a palaver, but basically that should do what? When I set a parent, if that parent has a set, it should be passed on to the form and its children. If the form has an owner, it will be moved to the set to the appropriate layer, as will its children. If you set a layer then it will move then it will move the form within a set. It'll set the layer and new layer. If it's within a set and it has an owner, it will move that graphic within the set to its new layer. My goodness. Okay. So oh man. Okay. So now I have this form class. And I'm feeling quite anxious about it. Let's have a look at graphic again. So I've a display set. What is the problem with that? Nothing. Global all list display set all node display set node layer list graphic. Okay, I think I understand this. Equals new list graphic max layers. Don't need this no more. Okay. For what it's worth, I will just say two top layers, seeing as I have it now. It's a little bit more readable. Boy. Boy, oh boy. So, what's in a viewport? for frig's sake. Well, first off, there's also a list. Can I just call it list? I hate to call list. But this is display set list. Okay. And viewport list is a list of viewport equals new list. Viewport will not have a capitalized P. Who knows why? And that's not all node, it's list node. Oh, my brain. Now, what else does a viewport have? It has basically all the stuff that a form has, but a bit less. Doesn't have a layer, but it does have all these things and this. And again, I'm tempted just to take the lot. I know probably it makes more sense to have these things inside something different, but to heck with it. No layers needed. But the rest can stay. Also associated with the viewport are its display sets. A list of display sets. And it'll have things like this. And it'll also probably have something like this, because it's got a bunch of crazy stuff in it. And in fact it's about to get more, because not only does it have display sets, oh, well. A viewport should do a lot, really it should. But the minimum it has to do is have a canvas, and I can't quite remember how. Like canvas here, it will, somewhere in bloody new, with a width and a height, renders to the back buffer, renders to an image. That's the sort of thing I want. So I need to store an image, and I need a canvas for each viewport, and I will render the viewport to the canvas and draw the canvas to the screen at the position. Really, X scale and Y scale, what does that mean in this context is the question. It's actually width and height. I'm going to think about that a little bit later. I'm going to open up a piece of code from my editor. And what on earth is it to look at? It's a managed object. And object, I think it's just in managed objects. Horrible viewport This looks hideous. This is because I don't have the main code loaded up as the build as a build file locked. Anyway, right, nothing is in here, is it? Oh yeah, it is. I remember. See the lengths I go to. Stencils. This is the other part, which I probably will have to implement. Look at all this. This is all for tightly controlling the positions of viewports. Like, this is done the way I am ultimately will think about doing. It's too much, isn't it? Look at these M integers. I hate my code. The main thing is this: canvas and image, clear color, stencil X, yeah, image and a canvas and a CLS color. This stencil thing is desirable. Being able to draw the viewport is one thing, but the viewport will be square, basically. It'll be a canvas, a texture, which I will render to an image at the size to occupy the space determined by the position and width and height, or scale as it's called just now. Being able to draw a stencil over the top of it before it's drawn really makes the viewports potentially much more useful, because you could just do stuff with them, overlaying them one on top of the other, using, enable a certain draw mode for a certain viewport. I don't know, there's all sorts. I have to really consider using a stencil. The reason I am hesitating to use a stencil is it does introduce another aspect. At the moment, well, no, I suppose it doesn't. We have a root associated with each display set. And here I do have to say root set equals self. Come on now, what's the problem there? Thank you. I suppose I could, have, well, one thing I need is an image and a canvas. Canvas. Let me check my time. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment. Where I am is determining the content of the viewport, and I'm relying slightly on this. What I'm doing here is Xform is my broader version of form, similar in that it really describes a position, scale, angle, and position in a hierarchy. And to render the stencil, I draw the objects from this. I draw any graphics associated with this Xform and its children directly to the stencil canvas, which is nice in a way and might be the way I end up doing it. For the time being, I will be happy if I can just make this bit work. You can stay. You can stay over here. You can go away. You can stay over here. You can go away. Managed objects. Math. Right, so let's just to see what on earth this is. Okay. I ponder whether or not this is an okay thing to do. I don't mind admitting that this viewport code is the last thing I was working on in this code, so it's largely sort of untested and it's just built up to do the things I think it needs to do to fulfill its duty. But here it's saying if you had anything before, get rid of it. I can't remember if you can just nullify images and canvases and expect that to be enough, or if you actually have to do something like, I can't do it here, doesn't matter. Image equals, so at any rate, it creates the image and creates the canvas with the image. And that's it. And it's a width and a height, and it's some texture flags and a shader. A shader. Me oh my. Okay. Set lock size, update lock frame. Okay, yeah. A lot of this is it's to do with the fact that for my large version of the viewports, they do quite a bit more. They have a lot of scrolling stuff built in and a lot of parallax of scrolling stuff built in, and a pile of stuff to allow you to arrange them within the display, like almost like gadgets on a desk in a window. Oh, I'm getting really heavily distracted. That will also probably be needed. Think, man. This is the main thing. That I have to be able to set the size. I have to be able to create a canvas. So I actually need a width and height for a canvas as well. And the X scale, Y scale does make sense there. Width. I think I will make that a float. Height. Float. Okay, I was going to stop there. I got distracted.